welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, the podcast that charts the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
John, now, I tend to, I get sort of distracted, and
Yes.
I'm not often aware of what day or time it is.
Yeah.
I just checked the calendar.
Yes.
It's the Day of the Beast.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Has anyone let Frankenstein know
this
that
is
it's the Day of the Beast?
Because it's a big day for him. That's a big day.
Huge day for him.
That's Frankenstein's big day for the Day of the Beast.
Because it's Day of the Beast, which we tend to celebrate.
Yeah.
I know that not everyone
It's our annual Day of the Beast special.
Is it because it's the Day of the Beast that we have someone else here to celebrate?
Yeah,
with
of
us?
course. How can we can't celebrate Day of the Beast by ourselves.
No.
This is a crossover of sorts, this episode.
It is.
I believe this is the first time we've had a fellow horror podcaster on, I think.
That's true. It's been friends of ours who love particular movies.
Yeah, but they
or
don't
that
host
we
specifically horror-based podcasts. But our friend, do you go by Derek M Koch?
I do. That's
there
right.
you go. Derek M Koch of Monster Kid Radio is with us.
Yay!
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. This is also interstate, as in we occasionally have guests from... You are currently in Arizona where you're telling us it's 90-some-odd degrees.
That is correct. Yeah, we moved from the Pacific Northwest to the Southwest, from PDX to PHX. So we're down here in the Phoenix area now and dealing with a sun that is constantly trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Well, again, it depends on your level of vampirism. I believe that you, and I'm just judging from what I can see on camera, you have not begun to crumble away.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I work inside.
Yeah.
But in the evenings, the sun doesn't go down until around 7:30 or so. So in the evenings, on the weekends, I'm usually out in the sun a lot longer, working at a haunt.
Right.
So
I gotta say that, I've of course been to many haunted houses and mazes and so forth, and you do it professionally. How fun is it?
it's a lot of fun. It's exhausting. It's a lot of work. I'm on my feet a lot, and I feel older and brokener every time I do it. But I also lose weight doing it, so it's probably the best exercise plan.
That's
the best exercise plan I've ever been on. Is making people...
That is a fun way to exercise.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
has anyone inflicted wounds upon you as a scary monster?
No.
That's good.
Because I've been trained by the best, being my wife Beth, who actually isn't in the room right now. Otherwise, I'd score a brownie point or two. Mm-hmm. But no, Beth is a professional. She's been doing it. My wife has been doing the haunt thing for nearly a decade now, and I am a hanger-on, but a quick learner. And
there you go.
I have been her assistant manager, hunchback assistant.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been her Igor for a while.
For Igor.
For those who haven't heard Monster Kid Radio, we're proud of our little span that we've been doing this podcast for, since the pandemic. Mm-hmm. But, you're in the episode 600, almost 700 episodes of Monster Kid Radio now.
So I don't know when this episode is going to go live.
Who knows? It could be years.
Who knows? But as of right now, which is like the third week of October 2024, Monster Kid Radio has actually been on hiatus because of the move.
Oh, right.
But we have done over 666 episodes. Yeah. We've been going for over a decade as Monster Kid Radio. And you know what? Either this is an announcement or a reflection on the fact that it's already happened, depending on when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
But when we relaunch Monster Kid Radio, which will be happening by the end of October, is the plan, we are rebranding a little bit. Starting with a brand new, and I've not shared this publicly anywhere, so depending on how fast...
Well, again, our patrons will definitely hear it first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. So we are restarting our numbering. We are tweaking the title of the show.
Okay.
It is The Bride of Monster Kid Radio.
I love it. Of course.
So, Bride of Monster Kid Radio #1 will be launching sometime by the end of October.
Nice.
We're going to change up the show a little bit. I've got some formatting changes in mind, although we're going to keep some of the stuff that people seem to love. The segments,
of course.
I've got Kenny's look at famous monsters of Filmland.
Yeah,
he's still going to keep doing that, and as far as I know, Mark Matsky's going to keep doing the Ultraman review, which is great, because a world without Ultraman is a sad, sad world.
Oh, agreed.
And we're going to keep the Ultraman stuff going, but I also have some new show themes in mind. I've got author Brian Clark scheduled to be on the show for something I'm calling Pick Your Poison, which is going to be a quiz show style format.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be bringing that in, and I'd like to do that maybe monthly. We'll just change it up a little bit. I still want to do the surf music. I love promoting the independent surf bands of the world.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of this. Every surf band that's appeared on Monster Kid Radio, we've gotten permission from them to play them on the show.
That's great.
So cool.
They've become listeners of the show or friends of the show.
That's awesome.
I love promoting instrumental surf music because surf music and monsters just go well together. I don't know what it is.
It's always been
especially,
yeah.
There's that sweet spot of the late 50s, early 60s. Come
Yeah.
on.
I don't know if it goes back to the Munsters theme song. I don't know who it is, but it's just
where the first crossover really was.
I don't know, but
Monster of Party Beach or something like that. But
yeah.
But I love that stuff, and clearly you do too. And that is, this isn't how we met. Actually, we met through doing Tesla City Stories. John and I both are in that production here in Portland, and you and Beth have been awesome supporters, and we're gonna miss you. We already have missed you at a couple of shows. Hopefully you'll come back to Portland to visit, and it'll correspond with the show, and we can see you there again. That would be awesome.
That is definitely a plan. I have been missing Tesla. There's a Tesla-sized hole in my heart that cannot find anybody else to fill down here.
No, understood.
Yeah.
And I have a special request for you when you rebrand Bride of Monster Kid Radio. Any possibility that I can show up as Dr. Pretorius and just lisp like very outrageously and show you my miniature elephant? Would that be okay?
Just the opening and go, the Bride of Monster Kid Radio.
We need to have both of you on as guests.
Oh, definitely. Of course.
I would love to.
Or separately.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to. And if we do, let us never speak of this film again.
Well,
and,
yeah,
that was me.
Thank you. Good stuff, Brendan. We have been at this for almost 5 years now. You've become a pro.
I'm pulling us back in, but no, I love all that catch-up
because
stuff.
I love. I'm so glad we've been wanting to get Derek on the show for a while, and I want it noted. If you're a Monster Kid Radio fan coming to this, or you're curious about what he's doing, and you're just like, this movie, I want it stated. I sent you about 12 titles, Derek, that you could pick from. He chose this movie. I swear, this is not. We always say this. We never make guests show up on any episode.
That's true.
We always send people a list of what we're doing. So, Derek, I think the big question Brent and I have both been wanting to ask you: why did you choose 2011's Frankenstein: Day of the Beast?
I secretly hate you both. No.
We were going to have to watch it no matter what, so no.
no, that's not true at all. And I don't remember what other movies were on the list when you...
Yeah, I mean, it would have been whatever the pretty much minus a couple, whatever our past 10 episodes or so were. So, I mean,
I love Frankenstein. I am a huge fan of all things Frankenstein.
I mean,
in fact,
agreed.
One of the... Yeah, and Frankenstein's just amazing. Yeah, the story is fantastic. Every iteration of Frankenstein, with the exception of one or two, I've found something to enjoy. In fact, either the first or second episode of The Bride of Monster Kid Radio, Beth and I will be talking about us seeing the... it wasn't live, it was a film version of the National Theater production of the Benedict Cumberbatch and Johnny Lee Miller.
That's an astounding production.
The Phoenix Art Museum just showed that last weekend.
Nice.
In their auditorium, and Beth and I were like, Frankenstein, Benedict Cumberbatch, Johnny Lee Miller, two Sherlocks make a Frankenstein. Cool.
Which by the way, who was, because they did, that was the production where they would change.
They switched off roles,
yeah. So who was in what when you saw it?
Johnny Lee Miller was the monster.
Cool.
And from what I'm told, his is the more effective or affecting.
That's
that I don't know. But
that's my perception as well. Is that most people think sort of intrinsically Cumberbatch fits the Doctor and Miller the monster more.
It was amazing. I walked away from it having learned something about Frankenstein that makes things make a little bit more sense for me. The performance was stellar, and that is my invitation to your listeners to come check out Bride of Monster Kid Radio when we get it going. Over at monsterkidradio.net.
Yeah.
Because we'll never cover that simply because it's not a theatrical release.
Yeah.
As far as the other reason why I picked this one is that I'm Facebook friends with Michelle Fields, who is the lead actress in the film, and I've been aware of this movie for a very, very long time, and have just never gotten around to watching it.
I hope you stay friends with her after we talk about it.
So to have an opportunity to watch a movie that's been on my to-watch list for years.
Because I was also because I will say in talking to Derek at Tesla shows and stuff like that, it is very rare I can reference a horror movie you haven't seen. So that's something
that becomes immediately apparent when you scan through titles and then subjects from Monster Kid Radio, and you mentioned it in the episode I was listening to earlier about Doctor Who. You are a completist, and I think that if you could, you would watch every Frankenstein film there has ever been made.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Are you kidding me?
I would love to do that with Dracula.
That's kind of what this show a little bit is. That we have gotten a little choosier. Early on, we were really doing
the show. I have ticked boxes. Thanks to us doing this, there have been several, like Derek was saying, like things I had meant to watch and never did, and now I have, and now I know.
Like by the end of this, we will have seen the vast majority of Dracula, Frankenstein, I
think we've dipped a toe, my friend. I think we've only dipped
You think so? I mean...
Dracula is just worldwide, and it's...
One of my favorite memories of you two after a Tesla show as we were talking, and you mentioned Bonnie and Clyde versus Dracula, and it's like, oh yeah, I've seen Tiffany Shepard's Dracula, right? And your eyes bugged out and your jaws dropped, like, you know that movie?
Yeah. Because we'd never heard of it.
Tiffany, yes.
Yeah.
And weirdly... this movie
never heard of this movie before this
is
either.
Similar. I had heard of Bonnie and Clyde versus Dracula, but I'd never seen it till we did the show. But it feels similar. I had actually said this to John before we watched this when we were talking about it last week. I said this from the trailer feels similar, as in this feels like a local small production that is going to be terrible, but everyone in it's trying really hard. And Bonnie and Clyde is the same thing, where it's like, yeah, this isn't good. This is an indie thing with a bunch of neighbors. Hey, my uncle's got a barn. Let's put on a show type of movie. That's what this feels like. So, yeah, I had a lot of problems with it, but I don't think this is a cynical, let's make a shit movie. This is people doing the best they can at a very amateur level.
And we are generally
a lot of fun of mocking it out, because
we are generally really more endeared to those movies as opposed to a lot of the Sci-Fi Channel stuff or the clear cash grab. Nobody gives a shit. There's a bunch of has-beens in it. This is definitely made, and I will say, I didn't find much to recommend in this movie, but I will say, the kernel of the idea here is pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, and something you were saying there a second ago, Brendan. Nobody intentionally goes out of their way to make a bad movie, right? No, nobody's
sometimes go out of their way to make a cult movie, which is a different thing. Yes.
But nobody says, you know what, I'm going to spend the next week or so of my life just putting out garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
They get it in their heads that what they're doing is genius and they're wrong, but they don't intentionally go out of their way to make a bad movie.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to comment on is there is a very strong DIY aesthetic through this whole thing.
Definitely.
Which I respond to so well as a creative, and I'm betting it's the same for you guys, regardless of what the result is. Because of your background with performance and writing and everything else, you're creatives. You get it. When somebody's trying really hard to make something.
Absolutely. One thing that we often have said on the podcast, and it's fully here, and I was having the thought watching it, I was like going, listen, man, they made a movie.
Yeah.
They made a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something where a lot of people, when I lived in LA, talked a lot of big talk about, the script is going to be amazing. And and you're like, well, how much of it have you written? Well, I haven't done any of that yet. And you're like, okay, look, the poser mentality is out there a lot. The people that actually put the work in, and also John knows this, I was gifted a Blu-ray of a movie that I was in a small part back in 93 back in Texas, and it got a Blu-ray release, which blew my mind.
From Arrow Video of all places too, like a reputable company.
And I was like, oh my God, rewatching it, I'm like going, yeah, this is the cheapest that cheap can be, but that actually did impact people. It got done. So I always respect the people that get it done. You sit there going like, yeah, it's the same thing where you can watch Ed Wood, the film, or you can watch Ed Wood movies and feel the same thing of like, oh, that's bad. But man, he went out and he did this. He and his buddies and he and the people that he could pay, whatever he could pay, they made their damn movie. So yeah, congrats. Deep respect. Having said that, let's talk about Frankenstein, Day of the Beast.
Well, I want to start with I think it's something we always do on the show, which is posters.
Yeah.
And this one has two, and I would say they are indicative of the movie you're about to watch. They're pretty DIY posters.
Yes. I know which one I prefer.
The one that's just the sort of staticky Frankenstein monster face, or
that's the one.
Yep, because the other one is very like community theater. We photoshopped our actress, and there's a and
like you see the arm of the creature, and
there's two hands sort of in classic monster grabbing pose coming at her. And the tagline of this one's very simple: an island, a bride, a monster.
When I entered this, by the way, into Letterboxd, because every time I watch a movie, I just
follow Brendan on Letterboxd, everybody, because Brendan does rate all these movies on there.
I don't write reviews, but I'll just give it the stars. I gave this 1.5, but because it's from 2011, it ended up just slotted next to Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah.
And which is also a close-up of Tom Cruise's face.
Yep.
Weirdly, those two posters make a very nice little diptych where you just have like Frankenstein monster close-up and then Tom Cruise close-up. But anyway, yes, I prefer that one to the other one. And
I mean, a monster, an island, a bride, a monster. All three things are in this movie. They are not misleading you.
I will say that is some appropriate. You're getting what you paid for. An island, a bride, a monster.
Truth in advertising.
Not absolutely.
To be confused with Frankenstein Island, which I know you guys have already covered.
Oh did we? And I will say, Brendan, would you say this is better than Frankenstein Island?
Okay.
It is. Oh wow. Okay.
Well, no,
they suffer from some similar problems.
This is better. But
that hurt you to say.
I had more fun watching Frankenstein Island, which is absolute shit. Because Frankenstein Island is so batshit crazy, I'm laughing every minute because you've got the goofy people, you got the dog taking a piss, you got the weird guys in the in their little masks, the little criminal burglar outfits, and you're like, what the fuck is this? So you've got John Carradine's head being projected every few seconds. So in other words, that is fun to watch because it is so terrible, but it's batshit. This is trying, like I said, like we were saying, to be serious. So I found a lot of it very boring. However, I will say, as you said, and I do agree, the concept of this isn't bad, which is taking a chunk out of classic Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and subverting it into a slasher film.
It's basically a siege movie,
house,
right?
People are trapped, the monster's after us.
It's interesting, slasher movie, but I was thinking specifically siege movie. This almost feels like Assault on Precinct 13, but with the Frankenstein monster. I'm like, that's a pretty sweet pitch, actually, for a movie.
Yeah, where they're. I will say this movie is dependent upon you, the viewer, really knowing Frankenstein, the book, or even the classic films, because they're not bothering to. I mean, they drop you in, and they're not bothering to really help you out if you don't know the story. So I was trying to think of how confusing this would be to someone that isn't really a Frankenstein fan. They'd be like, I have no idea what's going on. What happened to the Muslim lady? What was that about? And why is the monster trying to rape people? And why does it growl like a dog? Oh dear. Oh my.
Yeah, there are a few things that just kind of, you're right, it just kind of just drops you in. I did appreciate that though, and this is something, boy, I'm about to compare this to that Benedict Cumberbatch stage production.
Yeah.
It's fresh in your mind.
It's fresh in my mind.
Actually, by the way, it came out the same year.
They did. Neither one of them bother with starting with a creation sequence. So many Frankenstein stories start with it's alive, I feel like God, or whatever. I totally butchered that line, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas, the stage production starts with him already built on stage. Now we do get flashbacks in this to show the creation process. But it just kind of drops you in, and there are some things that just kind of happen. Some things that are very reminiscent of the novel.
Well, no, that's the thing, is that it's what they're doing is like fan fiction, which again I don't mind, because they're assuming if you're coming to this that you probably already know the story. So where they're going to get you is by the way they've twisted it. Because I'm sitting there going like, oh, so okay, there's the blind man, there's the chopping of the wood, right? He's helping them out. He's learning to speak because someone's being taught. I love the way they're like, teach her English. I'm like, wait, you guys are in Germany.
her yeah, well, yes, but also I love her teaching English is just to point at things or hold things and go
fork,
bowl, fork.
Yeah,
got it.
But yeah, so all these things are familiar right up to the point where the creature just fucking offs the blind man, and then you're like going, oh, this is doing a very different thing.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, because we're talking holistically,
Safi, the dark-skinned French woman Muslim, and you're going, okay, that's not in the book, but okay, let's go with that.
But we'll get into it scene by scene. But holistically, I know
he's trying to.
I think but just talking about broad strokes things, I think the biggest mistake here, and it actually was them, I think, shooting themselves in the foot in some ways with the storytelling, is the decision to make the creature nonverbal. And I think because it forces Victor Frankenstein to speak for the creature a lot. And I think that really loses a lot of the impact to go, oh, wait, I know what he wants. And then let me have to explain why I know what he wants.
Yeah, I'm just interpreting. It's like, it seems like this is what he's at.
And that feels like that.
But they also have Elizabeth do that, where she goes, don't you see what he really needs?
And I'm saying
you rejected him right off the bat.
That decision made it harder for them to tell their story, I think.
Maybe so.
Yeah. I think so too. Especially since they had the whole, maybe she'll teach me English or French or whatever, and okay, we're setting up a point for the monster to learn how to speak, instead of the blind.
Why include that if he doesn't actually learn how to speak?
Also, if his whole point was to tear women apart and make a mate and kill the men, why was he helping them out by chopping the wood?
That's
but
the thing.
They do show him watching the guy sew. That was the important thing.
Yes.
Later on, I was like, oh, that's what that was about. It's like, oh, he's learning. But I can put together my own bride.
This is something we talk about in a lot of Frankenstein movies. Which, by the way, this is a sad realization I made this morning looking at the list of movies we're doing and where this fits, Brandon. This is the first Frankenstein movie we've done this season. This is the first of the 2010s we've gotten a Frankenstein movie, and unfortunately, it's this one. But the thing about it is, but I feel like this is not unique to this movie as a problem, is the creature is either really dumb, except when the movie needs him to be pretty smart. And so that's the thing where it's like, he's nonverbal, growling, just grabbing and ripping things apart, but he's known enough to know that he is sewn together and he needs to sew someone else together to make himself a mate. That's kind of the thing where it's like they want to have it both ways.
And also, I mean, well, we'll get to it. Other changes are built into what they need him to be able to do in this movie. When we get the creation sequence, you'll see it's much more than stitching bodies together.
Right.
It's about regenerative cells.
It's about bubbles and water,
a Wolverine, healing factor.
That actually, the shot that they go to a lot of just the bubbles in the water that also opens the movie. Very 2000 X-Men movies.
Oh sure! Every time we do a CGI close-up of like gene sequences and stuff, I'm like, oh, I can hear the Danny Elfman theme right now.
You want to hear? Patrick Stewart go mutants.
Yeah. Sadly, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't hear that.
No, Patrick Stewart was nowhere near this movie.
They definitely made ample use of various stock footage libraries for
Yes,
a
they
lot
did.
So,
One thing I will give this film credit for, the opening scenes of the snowy woods are gorgeous.
Well, that's
they shot
part
this
of
in Illinois, and I will say this, they shot this in the height of winter because everyone's breath is visible throughout this entire movie. This is a very cold cast. I was like, damn.
Derek, you were talking about
not fake this.
The DIY aspect of this, and that definitely had that thing about like, okay, I know the following locations we can shoot this at, right? Like it definitely feels like that, where it's like, and so a lot of the scenery
reminds me of the Rene Perez thing, where every movie of his we've seen, where it's like, oh, there's that beautiful sweeping vista because it's in his backyard.
Yeah, because he owns a bunch of land in like Northern California, so it's like, oh, every movie is set in the same gorgeous stretch of forest or mountains.
Okay, let's open this thing up. We
jump right into this thing.
Yeah, right into the creature out in the woods, finding the nice family in the
because we actually see the hunting party looking for the creature in the snow, because it is the daughter of the blind man who sees them and goes, "What are they looking at? Are they hunting? They're these men are hunting for something." And one guy finds a ripped apart rabbit. And it's like, "Oh, he's been here."
Right.
Okay.
They have the doctor. I will another slight praise. The actor playing Frankenstein,
Adam Stevenson is his name.
Of a group of very amateur actors. He's good. He's good. This guy could definitely be a local theater guy.
Well, but that's the thing, is this guy's kind of the ringer of the group. This guy actually did go on to like a pretty steadily working like TV guest star actor.
Yeah, he's I thought he had some stuff.
I mean, I guess he's not the ringer because at this point he was, but he did actually spring out of this into, not like stardom, but definitely as a working actor in major things that you've seen.
Good for him.
Yeah, he was
lots of television, lots of
TV.
Probably everything that's shot in Chicago. I wonder if he's
that's another thing too. Then when you look at like Michelle Shields, who's our female lead here, it's like, yeah, she's in The Dark Knight as angry hospital relative. She's in Public Enemies as gangster's girlfriend.
She's in everything that's shot.
Those are
Chicago.
big Hollywood movies that she's a featured extra in that shot in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's Fred Claus. She's Mall Shopper.
Great.
Yeah. And that's so no, these are definitely local, and it has that feeling of these people are probably the best people in their community theater, and I'm not shitting on that by any means. I mean, that's
it's exactly the same thing where it's like these were the people that I knew that are talented actors, so I called them in.
Well, yeah, and the director had worked with some of these people previously and since as well.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't go as far as saying group of people that he worked with on the regular basis, but he did have some people that he would recast or work with, and like Michelle Shields had worked with the director a couple of times since, and that's or beforehand.
This guy has
that sort of thing.
This guy's directed several features,
low budget stuff. So
I was just saying, I was surprised. This is not this guy's directed several features before this, all in the horror genre, and a couple after it. He's got.
Looks like he had one out in 2022.
Yeah, and he's got one that he's just that's listed as in post production right now. So, which looks like some kind of killer.
Said something about a scene.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Give it a second. Let him come back around. Oh, there you are.
I'm
sorry, you froze up.
Yeah, what were you saying?
That's okay. You said something earlier about this feeling like a siege movie at one point, and I think it's telling that the director did do some zombie films, which the best zombie movies are typically siege movies.
Definitely,
and, Michelle Shields had done some zombie work as well. And
I think that's
structurally there's a zombie vibe to this movie. This even feels like a more zombie-esque Frankenstein monster.
But it's also, I think, a cost-effective thing. Not only are they can be very tense movies, but at the same time, a siege movie, small location. So here they've got some exteriors of what looks like kind of a deserted church or cathedral something, and those are just the exteriors. Every time they go inside, we're on a set, and you're like, okay. But again, it's something that I'm sure was cost effective, and you go, all right, that makes sense. The creature's basic. Well, again, let's go
get
back
to the creature because we see the hunting party, but we stick with the blind guy and his daughter as they go home, and then his son comes home, with his wife, who is
bride.
A French-speaking black woman, and we get the sense, they'll vocalize it later, that this guy's blind, so he doesn't know, but like there's a tension there, right? Everybody's kind of, it's unsaid.
Again, that's also kind of a interesting twist on the actual story, because the blind guy is literally shown in every version, even the book, to be saintly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best guy ever. This guy's a bigot. This whole thing about, he's like, let me see you. And he puts his hand on her face, and they're like, okay, that's enough. And then it's like, I wonder how much his hands can see. One of them says, it's like, in other words, if he's like, wait a minute, is she black? What do you... why does she pray outside? I love the part where he goes, why does she have to go outside to pray?
Yeah, say it. I know where this is going. Say it already.
Like, wow, a bigot. The blind man's a bigot. And he doesn't offer, espresso and a cigar to the creature, because the creature's too busy shoving his mouth.
Now, this is the rare time you want the creature to kill the blind guy.
At this point, it's like, kill that asshole.
Yeah, Jesus.
But anyway, yes, keep going.
But the woman who played the sister, I thought put a little too much on it. She's just so like, oh, brother, your wife is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Well, also, this is a movie where, was there an overall note about whether we're going to do accents, or did people just choose on the day?
Yeah.
There's a couple that are a couple people try something that's vaguely Germanic. Most people are doing something that's kind of stage British, sort of.
I was thinking it sort of falls into that. Also, I do wonder if there's some of that, just like, because we've seen a lot of these movies. While Frankenstein is usually set in some sort of German or Austrian setting.
Yeah, it's almost always British people.
But it's always British. Yeah, it always sort of defaults to, everybody just kind of play it British.
Yeah, and in this one we also have lots of Chicago. We really do.
Chicago.
There are people that just sort of like going,
hey, make me a bride there.
Oh no, we followed his tracks. Yeah, he killed this thing here. But yes, she's a very sort of, she's like in a production of Little Women.
I also felt like, I think it's very Little Women, and I think on that way is, I feel like because she's playing the younger sister, she's trying to play younger than she is, and so that comes off as this like,
they weren't going to, even if it's makeup, they weren't even going to suggest later in the movie that a 12-year-old or whatever got ripped apart and there's a bare chest, even though it's supposed to be the chest of, sorry, spoiler alert, of the bride's Safi is, but it's definitely, she's playing younger and is like, this is how I do it. I do my voice up like this, papa.
And that's definitely where the community theater kind of stuff raised, where it's like, I'm sure in the local Illinois, regional production of Little Women, she was great.
There's this one shot in this where the creature finds the cabin and is just going to observe for a while, and that's classic. But they do a thing where you think it's a camera movement. So you think it's just a camera movement, but then they decide it's POV. And it's in the same shot. I'm like, no, I've never directed, but I know that you should establish something's POV right off the bat. But there's kind of this move outside the cabin, and then it kind of goes towards a crack, and suddenly there's a...
and
I'm like,
this is the beginning of me going, interesting, they're not showing the creature, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Jaws 2 thing, right? So like in the first Jaws, every POV shot, is every time the camera's underwater,
Yes.
it's a POV shot, it's a shark.
Mhm.
In Jaws 2, half the time it's a POV shot, half the time we're just underwater.
Yeah, and you're like,
yeah,
oh,
you're like,
thanks, man.
oh,
I'm
maybe that's
confused.
not. And then I started getting a little impatient. I was like, I
Mhm.
just wanted to see the monster. I just
Mhm.
want to see the monster.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate that they held back so hard to put the
Well,
monster
once you
in
saw it,
jail.
you're like, thank you for holding back.
Well,
Yeah, that was my reaction.
The
It was like,
guy
oh, that's why
is
they didn't show it.
the guy's a monster.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the shape of that guy. He's tall. He's big.
Surprisingly, Brendan, it seems like he plays a lot of monsters and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and actually, the makeup wouldn't have been so bad for me. And I'm jumping the gun again.
No, you go
It's
ahead,
that thing that always drives me crazy is the mismatch. And I know that Frankenstein's creature should be mismatched because he's got different limbs and things, but his face is almost chalky white, the makeup they've given him. But his arms are just normal human flesh tone, and I hate that in movies. I hate when it's a zombie where it's dead skin, but they never got to his hands. They're like, it's too much work. Oh, I hate that.
In my previous podcasting life, I did a show called Mail Order Zombie where we reviewed zombie movies.
Oh
And
boy.
the lower budget the zombie movie was, the more of the unmade up neck and shoulders
Yes.
of the zombie
Yes.
actors you would see.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I made a short zombie movie early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that one will probably end up on Blu-ray.
Hey, I'll take it. It needs a lot of remastering. We shot it on VHS.
Yep.
But one thing that we were very conscious of was, and I didn't even put the makeup on him. I did the makeup. I just said, here's our vat of makeup that we called our ghoul goop. Rub this on your face, your neck, your shoulders, your arms and hands. Go. And we told our actors to go do it. When they came back, then we would, put in the details. But yeah, the more low budget these were, the more likely we were to see,
you see that line
or whatever. Yeah.
We're like, yeah, no one's going to be looking at that. They're going to look at his face. No, I'm sorry. I look at the whole creature.
The thing is if you're looking at the neck and the shoulders, there's a problem with the face makeup to begin with.
Well, that's probably true too.
And
here, it's no.
Yeah.
It still looks better than the one we were talking about the other night. Which Hammer one was it?
It was the one that didn't have Peter Cushing, and I'm blanking on which one that is.
The Horror of Frankenstein.
There you go.
With the cereal box makeup, where it's literally just a box on his head.
Well, the Horror of Frankenstein, it has that, but then there's another one that has a flat top as well. I think it's Evil of Frankenstein.
Those
does have Cushing.
The Hammer Frankenstein makeup definitely does a precipitous drop as those go forward. I really like the Christopher Lee design, and then it just kind of teeters. And this one, I will say, I respect that they're trying to go iconic Frankenstein monster, right? They're definitely trying to give you what you expect in a Frankenstein monster makeup. I don't think it works, but I see what they're trying to do with this.
Okay.
And
it is a Peter Cushing one. It is Evil of Frankenstein.
It's Evil where he has the box.
That is the worst makeup they ever did. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, I think you can actually hear us. That whole episode is just us going, oh, it's bad.
Yeah, that was when Hammer and Universal started talking, and Universal was like, yeah, you can give him a flat top. That's fine. We won't mind. Hammer's like, okay, well, we'll show you flat top.
Boy.
Did someone say flat top? I've got something for this.
Not just flat top, flat all the way around.
Yeah. Kingston played that monster, and
full on box.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great.
No, I said Well, both Hammer, having done entire seasons about Hammer and Universal, both of them went on a similar trajectory of starting out real well, and then just start cutting corners and pushing stuff out and not finishing scripts as well as they should. And
well, let's talk about this. This movie started strong. Oh, the way I'm coming back.
So it starts really strong. It starts really strong.
Yeah, it does.
When I sat down to watch it finally after being on my to watch list for over a decade, I thought, you know what? Brendan and John, they've been telling me that this is a terrible, terrible movie. I'm going to be the odd man out because this is starting really good. I'm really enjoying this.
Well, it's at least starting like familiar, right? Like you're going like, okay,
it's starting familiar,
doing
and
the
then
beats.
it throws some twists at you, and you're starting to respect it for throwing some twists at you, even while you're going, oh, the acting's not so good, and you're going, oh, those costumes came from
it's something that a lot of super low to no budget movies, I feel like, suffer from, which is they've got interesting ideas, they've got a lot of passion, but it's really hard to make a 90-minute feature film. Like, so it lulls in places, and you're just like, I don't know that you had, like, you just don't have me the whole time. I will say, speaking of when we get to I think
we keep jumping ahead.
Yeah. Anyway,
when we get to this thing.
Yeah. They find all the chopped wood in the barn, and they're like, wow. Once again, she's like, wow, brother, you chopped all that wood for us,
and you just forgot. And he's like, no, I swear to God, I didn't.
I didn't do it.
I kept expecting someone to say it was the spirit of the forest.
Yeah, they didn't do that. No one did. And then then the new wife goes out to pray. And then they're like, well, that shouldn't have taken her that long, though. And, of course, the creature got her.
The creature, this creature is hyper-violent and hyper-horny. But also, they are going kind of zombie-ish because there's a cannibal element. There's a chewing. Like, literally, he tears the bottom of her face off.
Okay, this will lead me to what I was going to say, which is, the zombie. I think the gore is all pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, and some places they are like a slasher movie, like a Friday the 13th. They're like going, we got to think of inventive things because of course there's the guy up against the window and the creature has literally reached its arm through the guy, and you're like, okay, guys,
there's a spine rip in this movie.
That was cool, man.
Yeah, that was cool. I know.
That's clever. I
think
I've never seen that before.
No. I was giving them props for that too.
I think all the kills are
a budget film, but they're trying to up their kills. They're trying to make it,
and that's smart in the market of, because a lot of gorehound horror nerds will give the movie a pass if it has the decent kills. There are people who are just looking for kills in horror movies, and on that level, I think the movie mostly delivers. There may knowing
there's
a lot
some people
of
that get killed real good in this movie,
but knowing a lot of those guys, there's probably too much time between those kills, probably for some of those guys, but that's okay. So anyway, she gets her lower jaw like torn off, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly.
And her and I think her chest is also messed up.
That's later when they find
you. Yeah, does the creature come back? Because you'd think that the family would. Oh, he ends up killing everybody in that family.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, he does. Okay.
Because
I was like, what he?
Well, because the son and daughter go out to look for the missing wife, and then the creature comes back because the blind father's alone, and when the door opens, he's like, "Is that you, my son's black wife, whom I disapprove of?"
That is a direct quote, and I was so offended.
It must be you. Explain yourself. And then, of course, he puts his hand out,
growling, and what? Who are you? What? And then he's trying to swat this guy away with his cane. And then the Frankenstein creature says, "Fuck yo, cane." Grabs it and literally just shoves it through the back of the guy's mouth.
Yeah, out and his mouth. And I was like, "Oh shit!" I mean, I will say, I did go.
When I knew,
okay.
I was like, "Oh, this is not Yo Daddy's Frankenstein."
No,
no, it's not.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh no,
this is not the Karloff Frankenstein who's frightened and accidentally kills people. This guy is looking to murder.
He's looking to murder.
Yeah. There's no childlike innocence. There's no. It's an innocent in a violent world. There's
no shot of it reaching tentatively towards a sunbeam.
No.
It's a butterfly.
This guy's got even less childlike innocence than Jason Voorhees. I mean, really. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is he's this guy. Yeah.
So that's it for that section of the novel. I was like, wow, that's very different from the book, and
this sequence ends with just out of context. We don't quite know what it is. Just the sewing of body parts and blood, and you're like, "What the? Okay, are we flashing back? We don't quite know what that is out of context."
I mean, really, it could have ended there and been a great short film.
Yeah, actually, agreed. Yeah, I was like, you know what? Yeah. I was at least still intrigued at this point. I'm going like, "Ooh, they're starting like almost 2/3 of the way through the novel in some places.
The next idea is also pretty clever.
Yeah.
I will give it this. The next idea, which is similar to the book and all the other films, Victor knows the creature wants to destroy his happiness and come for his wife. We don't find out how, other than he goes, I think I know what he wants.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I built the thing. I should know.
Yeah, but Frankenstein
That's my boy out there.
arranged for a secret wedding on an island in this abandoned church that even the priest has to be rowed out to. And he's like, why are we doing it here? And it's like, this is on the DL, because if the creature knows I'm getting married, it'll come for us. I was like, that's a pretty clever twist on it. Sure. Once they go in the church, again, I did productions in high school that look better than this. The walls of this, the inside of this like abandoned church, they literally just did some paint lines and let them drip. I noticed that anytime we're in his lab, I think that's the default. The filmmakers went, if we want to show a place is kind of moldy and old, do some paint and let it drip. And then that's
his
good.
lab is also there's just a lot of darkness. They sort of only lit like the table.
That's a smart thing to do if you don't.
No, and actually the biggest thing where I was like, I see you movie is when Elizabeth actually indicates, it's like, why are we on this island? And why are there so few people at our wedding? I'm like, nice. Okay, movie. All right. I got you.
The only people that are there, it's
a lampshade on it,
Yeah, it's total lampshade hanging, yeah.
There's no family, but she's got her friend, cannon fodder girl, and there are
everyone's cannon fodder in this movie.
That's true. The people that are there are guards. Basically, he hired a bunch of people to come and like from the hunting party.
That's the most Hammer touch in this movie, is that there's a group of ruffians included here who are basically just here to be like, yeah, we're mercenaries, we're totally gonna turn on you.
Again, I'm all for inclusivity, and they're doing their oin take, but Mr. Bartu or Mr. Bartu, whatever they call him. Yeah, you end up with this African gentleman who's dressed literally like Ben Vereen and Pippin. And I'm just... I didn't quite understand what his purpose was, and I realized he must be one of the ruffians, like one of the guards, and he's one of the crew.
But they don't
treat him as like a subordinate, thank God, or anything
but nor do they...
Like, this seems odd
because they dress him up and they put some some kind of facial tattoos on to give him sort of a
tattooing.
But the thing about that is, it's like, well, I mean, good that they're not treating him as an other, but also the movie is visually differentiating him. I was waiting for that to matter in the plot in some way.
I was waiting
for him to have some skill
like,
set or some.
We get his backstory.
Yeah, because it just made me go like, okay, so it's a bunch of standard, doughy, scuzzy dudes, and then one like African warrior guy. Explain to me why he's there. No, doesn't matter.
The second actor I thought was pretty good, and he gets a pretty good death, is the sort of not the main baddie, the tubby guy,
right,
who gets a big villain death at the end.
Yeah,
he's the one you're surprised it dies before that. The one with sort of the Ron Swanson kind of feel. He's got a beard and. He's the smarter one.
Yes.
That guy was pretty good. I thought every line he delivered, I was like, yeah, you're a pretty good actor.
Man, I will say, looking at everyone's IMDb, almost the entire movie, the entire cast, was in both Dark Knight and Public Enemies in some capacity.
Oh, great. Well, I mean,
they were almost all. Yeah, it's like because the guy who played the monster was assistant DA in Dark Knight, and the guy who played the blind man was in Dark Knight.
Man, if I had been in Chicago, I could have been in that movie.
Well, you were, the guy who plays.
I was in Spider-Man.
You were in Spider-Man. You're not on camera, but you were in the crowd scenes of Spider-Man.
I was an extra in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Come at me, internet.
For something. I mean, that's
it was very cool.
Yeah,
I
he's in the Brendan's in the wrestling scene where Spider-Man gets his name.
I am one of the people in the wrestling scene, and I'm also there at the World Day Festival when Green Goblin shows up and starts bombing Macy Gray.
Pretty good. But
she had it coming though. So
she had it coming.
She knows what she did.
Wow, they really banked on the wrong. Like, I mean, no offense to Macy Gray, but they thought she was going to be such a big name.
I know now that's one of the things that really does date that movie.
Like, maybe wait till someone has a second hit.
I like this.
Put them in your movie.
The guy who played the old blind man, Bruce Spielbauer, great name, number one. He plays high-ranking police official in Dark Knight, which I just love that.
Ooh,
that
nice.
credit. High-ranking police official.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right, pretty good.
He's probably corrupt though, because we know about those Gotham cops.
Well, I mean, I think that movie implies there are like 5 cops who aren't crooked, right? Isn't that sort of the thing?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Gordon's
It's
got the
Gordon
only people
and 2 other people.
Yeah.
But anyway,
The person in the cast that stood out to me that I'm surprised that as a low budget filmmaker they didn't bank on this more. He's not in the group there because he's in the flashback, but the guy who played Henry.
Oh,
really?
yeah. Jay Disney.
His name is Disney.
Jay Disney.
Jay Disney. Now,
Yeah.
is he related? I have no idea.
He is not.
But
It
you
is
put-
the first
you get
thing
a
in his
Disney,
IMDb
you
trivia.
Put that name on the poster.
Yeah.
yeah,
know-
of course.
Yeah.
This is a Disney film.
Disney and Frankenstein, Day of the Beast. Come on.
I like it's the first thing. It's the first entry on his IMDb trivia is Jay Disney is not related
Is
to
not
Walt Disney.
related to Walt Disney.
But he is the author of 2 different cookbooks and is a classically trained pianist
And harpsichordist.
and
Only that.
harpsichordist.
And to have a film career with that last
Yeah.
name,
Yeah.
not being related, that takes guts, man. That's
Yeah.
you know, I'd be swinging that around left and right.
Well,
I'm a Disney,
being named Brendan Scorsese didn't get me very far. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
He was not in Dark Knight. Jay Disney not in Dark Knight, folks.
So at the wedding,
yes.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Elizabeth doesn't look very happy, and it's probably because she's in a drippy, moldy.
Yeah. This was not her
church
dream
with no
wedding.
family.
You know, when
Not
she was a
her
little
dream
girl,
wedding.
this is not what she was picturing.
And this is your friend, Derek.
Michelle Shields.
I'm sure she's very nice. And I found her, she's not terrible in this at all.
No.
And I thought she was very cute. And when she gets her, like, I'm a badass moments, I was like, okay. One thing I like Elizabeth having, I'm a badass. The only problem is then, of course, she's still raped and killed. Because the book.
Well, yeah, and also we'll talk about that they just whole cloth take the ending of Brana's movie.
Yeah, they do.
But we'll
That's
get
okay.
there. Well, and that's fine, except for all right. They don't earn it is my main point there, but
Oh, snap.
but we'll get there.
So
yeah,
coming for you.
we see they're getting married, and yeah, she seems kind of like, I don't know, this is weird that we're doing it this way. Meanwhile, the slasher movie's beginning outside because we've got I just called them the Watchmen. These guys are out there by this boat and they're standing around, and of course one of you've got a line of 4 guys. Big hand just grabs one and pulls it off camera, and they're like, "Hey,
Yep.
who's that?" What?
Yep. He's knocking them off one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Something that the book never really went into, and this movie finally makes clear. Can Frankenstein's monster toss rocks? Frankenstein's monster is a monster at tossing rocks. At the
So
end of this
good.
movie,
Yeah.
he is pegging people from yards away.
Bing. Yeah, really
Boom,
skilled
with
at
the
it.
rocks.
Where did he get that? We don't know much about where this brain came from, so
No, we don't.
Well, and talk about filling
out a pitcher's arm at some point.
Yeah, they got pictures of yeah, exactly.
We get a pretty extended creation sequence later in the movie. The problem is that it's not really backed up with any explanatory dialogue. It's just I'm sawing.
Well,
I'm
and
sawing,
here's the
I
thing,
look
once
serious.
again-
Now I'm talking to Henry for a little bit. Now
Because before we get to that, you do have they get married, and then Elizabeth's like, "What is this all about?" And then this is where the decision to jump forward, but still sort of basically maintain the plot points of the novel, is once again trouble in the script, because he goes like, "Okay, remember how my brother William went missing? Yeah, we found him dead." And you're just like, okay, that's where it's like, stuff has happened. We need to catch up the plot, and so we'll just say this. And she's like, not
he
William.
drowned, and he's like, well,
He's but a
he
boy.
did, but then we pulled him out, and he had been strangled to death.
Yeah.
Before the drowning.
Who would do such a thing? And he's like, well, I built the monster.
Yep. Actually, he keeps that to himself really until
It's
the
late in the
rest
game.
of the men when they're getting picked off. Like,
All he says
what is this to do with you?
All he
and he's
says,
like, all right,
which
I
is
made him
more
mine."
concerning than is he just goes, somebody murdered William, and I'm pretty sure you're next.
Yes. She just said, I do. The wedding is just
Yeah.
finished. He's like going, and He's coming for you now.
Yeah, pretty sure.
We have to stay here overnight. This is our wedding night. We're going to stay in this crumbly. And she's like, are you fucking serious? Another direct quote from the script.
Yeah, are you fucking serious? Yeah. What you talking about, Frankenstein? Yeah. But so it's just like, let me just catch you up real quick. I've left out a lot of stuff, and I've even left out more. But and so they go like, well, we can't leave the island, so they're trapped there. And
bring on the siege film.
I mean, that's the thing is, and then Elizabeth is like, what? An interesting turn here. Instead of who's this killer that is killing anyone near my now husband? Instead, she's like, how could God let this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, okay. I see you, movie. You're trying to get what every Frankenstein movie is about, which is man should not tamper in the realm of God, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just kind of tossed in here. It's like, what kind of God?
And this the priest guy gets that terrible moment. That
guy I also thought was not great. The priest guy,
but he's like going, Jesus Christ, or something, and he looks up, he goes, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know that I need this movie to have any jokes in it. I thought that was maybe.
Gentlemen, can I say this? And I'm saying this for all three of us.
Yeah.
That's the part we would have all got.
Of course. The priest.
If we had all gone out for this movie, we would end up being that guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to think I could be the chunky bad guy that makes it all the way up to the end of the movie, but no.
Yeah,
I would be the priest
that's
guy
not
going,
that. This is not a slight on your abilities, Brendan. You don't read as threatening, I don't think.
Oh, I got to work on that, John.
Yeah.
Thanks for the challenge.
Get that into your repertoire as an actor. Yeah.
We're teddy bears.
Yeah.
I just.
It just doesn't.
We're comedy fodder. That's okay. God bless.
Yeah. If the one character who's gonna have a joke in the movie would be played by any of us.
Yeah.
So Oh, okay. So the guy that the creature took, the other bodyguard guys find him, and he is spread out over a tree branch with his innards spilled out of him.
Yeah.
Once again, and he's just going like.
Somehow he's still alive, and literally, it's just a open face buffet of guts, and he's still going like.
We need that on a shirt. Open face buffet of guts needs to be a Campbell and Jones Meet the Monster.
Well, that's
shirt.
Our next podcast.
Yeah,
that's the poll quote for the show.
There it is.
Actually, I bet they would be like, "Can we put that on the poster?" Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I love on its Wikipedia. It said that they are still seeking national distribution. And here in 2024, I would like to say, guys.
Yeah. When that was updated last. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think this is in the realm of I don't know where you guys watch this. It was just in its entirety for free on YouTube is where I watched it.
Oh, I saw it on Plex.
Yeah, it's from the filmmakers.
Yeah, it's just up. Yeah.
So it's on Plex. You can, I believe, rent it on Amazon, but it's also available on YouTube through the filmmakers website.
Yeah, it's YouTube. Yeah, it's up from the studio.
It with ads because it was just local politics.
Ads.
Yeah,
by the way,
I'm fighting for Portland. There's going to be no more tents on the sidewalks.
I got.
Hey, 15 minutes ago. Can I get back?
I was watching something on Plex, and I kept getting commercials for. It was two candidates, and they were just attack ads on each other back and forth. And then I looked at my ballot, and they don't even live in my county, so I can't even vote for either one. I'm just going like, great. They wasted a big chunk of my night, and I couldn't even vote for either one.
Having lived in the Pacific Northwest and the political landscape there, and then coming down here to Phoenix, not going to get into politics, but people who know me know where most of my beliefs lie.
Mm-hmm.
Very different than a lot of what is the overall.
Would imagine, yeah.
Do you and Beth not feel safe?
That I get are, what's that?
Do you not feel safe? Do we need to send somebody to rescue you?
Dude, as much as I say I'm a teddy bear and all that, I'm 6'4" and weigh over 350
pounds.
I'm
okay.
Yeah.
You threw or you politely escorted a gentleman that was causing a ruckus at one of our shows out. So you are our champ.
Yep.
Anyway.
So
here's a guy who's been splayed and he's almost dead.
And because he's still kind of alive, they have to do a I'm sorry,
Mercy Kill.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yeah.
By the way, I know this movie cost $50.
It cost
And again-
1.2 million, Brendan, according to IMDb.
Okay,
Which
plus
is
50.
Yeah.
And all due respect, like I said, they made a movie.
Yes.
The sound design in this.
Yeah, it's not great.
Every gunshot is stuff that I have found on free sound to use in our live shows.
And
there is such bad gunfire in this.
Having Brendan, you know, I used to host a podcast about low budget action movies, and this suffers from one of my biggest pet peeves, which is the gunshots are also all too quiet. They're all very quiet.
And they're just not
for a
mixed
period piece.
Yeah, at all.
You know, well, and that's one of the issues that I have with this movie overall is they tried so hard to make a period piece, but there are so many things production-wise and choice-wise that just don't fit, whether it's the sound effects that they use. And I've done Foley work on film. I've done things and all that.
Yeah.
So I know, you can go to the Zapsplat or wherever you're going to go to download your free sound effects.
Right.
I get
Sure.
But the sound effects, the way some of the people talk, the hair, there are things here that just are not of the era. And
the guy who brought his own leather duster and leather slouch hat, and I'm like going, yeah, that's 1850s.
Yeah. Okay.
That's definitely added to the DIY thing. A lot of the costumes, and my big thing with the guns is they clearly got like decent replicas, but they're all in pristine condition. They're all gleaming.
Oh, and all the shirts are bright white.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
until they have very, obvious blood.
Even if they have the right shirts or weapons or things, they look very new and very they don't look like anything.
And I know this much, especially old guns, as in muskets and flintlocks and things like that. There would be so much smoke after just one firing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no smoke in this at all.
No, and absolutely.
The only smoke is the mist coming out of their mouths because they are freezing to death.
Yeah.
Again, I give them full props for being out there in like lacy linen shirts or something, and it's clearly 40 below. It's like
yeah. Winter in Chicago, not great.
No, the guy who looked warm was the guy who looked like he was cosplaying Castlevania, but otherwise, everybody looked like they were cold.
Yeah.
And,
and how about let's get to the priest getting impaled, because it's quite for a split second when the priest is going. I thought, are we entering alien territory? Something's about to burst from his chest. It was crazy. His action was okay. Because I'm like, I understand they're taking some liberties with Frankenstein mythos. Where is this about to go?
Right.
And it's just the monster's hand. Right through him. It's a Terminator move, actually.
It was great. I loved it. I was like, that's awesome. Now, I will say, I don't know where y'all were when you watched this. Mm-hmm. I watched this in the break room at work.
Oh, okay.
I'm new at my job. I'm 2.5 weeks.
They're not yet. You're not there long enough for them to go like, of course that's what he's watching.
Yeah. They don't know me. Yeah. I wear a T-shirt with some monster movie stuff on it. That's about all they know about me.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna find out.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're in for. Like, you can dress up for Halloween. Like, yes, I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm watching this at work over my vegan ham sandwich. Nobody's sitting next to me. Okay, cool. Let's go back to.
You rewound it to watch it again.
Yeah. Just has it on a loop. The hand comes.
I will say it was an awesome shot, but I can't turn Logic Brain off.
Oh, this is the ever-present Brendan Jones problem.
It's great, but the arm, considering where it connects to the shoulder, is way too far through that guy. Yeah. Like it'd be more like all of this of the monster would also be inside that guy for his arm to be out that far.
We learned during the creation flashback, though, that he's growing, so maybe
that's true.
That's an interesting addition to this as well.
Don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, it's an interesting addition, especially if you want to turn this into kind of like a slasher franchise where, it's like, well, he can't be killed, and Frankenstein himself says, I don't think he can be killed because blowing him up. You can blow them in a million.
Well, yeah. Oh, we'll get to all of that.
And it's
because everyone
that's what
now
they could have done in the first the second Friday the 13th to explain Jason coming back again and again and again.
I mean, eventually they get there when Goes to Hell is a whole thing, but that's that's
no, I know, but it took them many movies for them to try to come up with an explanation of how he keeps coming back.
Yeah. Well, save that for when we do our rebrand, Campbell and Jones Meet the Slashers. But that's we keep.
I want in on the Friday the 13th.
Yes,
that was my
Derek has said that. Yes, Derek will be our Friday the 13th.
Jason lore headcanon thing to make it all make sense.
Oh yeah,
Jason Voorhees and I go way back.
There's a tease for probably
Jason is my
a year or so now.
Didn't you bully him at camp though?
Well, the thing is,
he was such a weird kid.
He was a weird-looking kid,
Yeah. And his mom was a real bitch.
And also, this hot counselor and I just wanted to hook up in the shack, Anyway,
I got tired of singing "Kumbaya," and it's just,
So now everyone has retreated into the church, which gives us firmly our Siege movie, and also, thankfully, the church has weird tunnels dug out in it too.
It really does,
of course, so that everyone can do that, but not before this is where I'm talking about this the thought process of the monster, because they're like, what's that? Oh God, he's in the ceiling. And I'm going like, okay, so he's got a tactical brain of some sort.
Yeah,
It's making him go, but also you can just start checking the boxes, and that's fine. I'm not really, but like you can start going like, oh no, he's in the ceiling. I'm going, oh, aliens, right? Like you start to check off the things about like, oh, I mean the thing later with the hand. I'm just going Evil Dead 2, all the live long day.
This thing wears its influences. They're not even influences.
Like Frankenstein is one of. I mean, it's the main influence, but there's like 18 other movies, of course, which is fine. So they're all in there. This is where the poor bridesmaid, I guess, or maid of honor, the one friend. Oh, she's fucking dead. she gets got. Because a big monster arm grabs her from the ceiling.
I will say this about Michelle Shields. The screaming was very effective. In every scene where she screamed, I was having to turn my
I think she has
neighbors are gonna
she has a good scream, but I think the movie overuses it and defaults to her, especially down the stretch. It's like she screams again and again and again, and she's got a very good horror movie scream. However, I could have maybe taken out half of those.
Okay. All right. We'll take your notes.
Well, it's one of those things where it's just like, because she's screaming at the same thing. It's like, I understand the monster's horrifying.
Yes.
But like the fifth time you've seen him, you're screaming at full volume again?
You're so callous, man.
Just saying, maybe.
You would have screamed once, and then you would have been like going, you get it.
I'm saying I give her enough credit as an actor to say that she could have had more differing reactions to this creature.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, all right. I'm in support of Michelle Shields, damn it.
We stand you, Michelle.
Yeah.
You slugged it out in the cold wastes of Chicago.
I mean, I do feel bad.
Give us this piece of wonderment.
So while everyone is barricading the door to the church, this is where Victor has his flashback to the creation of the monster.
Yes. Which has all the weird microscopic, obviously things that Mary Shelley wouldn't have known about, but microscopic genes.
We always talk about this, of course.
Cells combining, and you're like, wow.
We always talk about this, of course, that if you're truly, like, faithfully adapting the novel in any capacity.
Yeah, you're not even using electricity.
The novel is pretty vague about, it's alchemy. It's all. Yeah. It would be. That's why every movie. That's why thank Universal, and I think
actually that was brilliant, because if nothing else, Universal, came up with a good visual.
Yes.
For it. And the idea of the fire from heaven is something that brings life to the creature is awesome.
Yeah.
It visually, and it makes sense. And Mary Shelley herself probably would have been like, if she saw it, she would have been like, yeah, that's cool.
Because there's not much to visualize from the. We have seen a couple movies try to do it more in the Mary Shelley, and they don't.
Mary Shelley's
they don't really work.
It doesn't. Scene is like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah,
literally the creation. Now the finding of body parts.
Very short. I remember the Kenneth Branagh film. I think they did something like Electric Eels or something.
Yes,
they did.
Electric
Eels. They sure did.
But no, the Universal sequence of creation. It's so
Can't
good
top
that it gets reused. I mean, even
Yeah.
the equipment gets reused. I
Yep.
mean, this
Yeah.
Kenneth Strickland prop design got
Young
reused.
Frankenstein.
I mean, we've
Young
watched a couple. We've watched a
Dracula
couple.
versus Frankenstein, Blackenstein. I mean,
Yeah,
it
we've
turns up
watched several of these where there's like, no, we just wheeled it out of the prop house. Those are the exact
Because
same.
it's still awesome,
Yeah.
and they never tore it apart because they knew how awesome it was.
Yeah.
Well, and it was Strickfaden that had it in his garage. And at
Oh,
some
wow.
point, you know?
That's
So
great.
they would get a hold of Strickfaden and be like, "Hey, so we're making this movie called Blackenstein. Can we
we
borrow?"
Go into our archive, folks. You can listen to our episode about
We need your
Blackenstein.
Tesla coil.
I love Blackenstein.
There's some
unironically. I love it so much.
fun stuff in Blackenstein. I don't think we were too kind to it on the show.
Blackenstein and Blackula and Scream Blackula Scream.
I do love
we
Blackula.
had a blast doing those.
Blackula is in particular.
I prefer those to Yorga.
Oh yeah,
though,
yeah.
You know,
I find
Yorga.
I like similar actually to Blackula. I like the Yorga performance more than the movie around him.
Sure. Corey's fun.
Yeah.
Someday, what I'd like to do, and you have made films, both of you guys have made films, it sounds like. One of you guys, I would like you to film me with a flowing cloak running down a corridor with my arms up, and then you guys could just show it back in slow motion. Because I want my Yorga moment.
Yeah.
I want my Yorga moment.
So yes, we do get
running in slow motion.
We do get the they're running their experiment. They've built this monster, him and Henry, including a character from the book.
Yep. And it has taken days or weeks, and what I love is that their clothes never change, and the smears of blood on their faces and clothes are exactly the same and still bright red, not brown like dried blood. So yeah, time dilation, I guess.
I love that we have a Victor and a Henry in the same scene doing something together, though. Just Victor being, the Cushing Frankenstein, and Henry being the Colin Clive Frankenstein Universal. I loved having the Henry and Victor together.
I love them together.
They should have capitalized on Jay Disney being in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, you stan Jay Disney like nobody's business.
They should have done it, man. It's like, Jay Disney in.
Yeah.
Do you still run his Facebook page? Or
the checks stopped coming.
But actually, for the little we see him in here, I was like, he's good.
I will say, once again, looking at his IMDb, he seems to be fairly well respected in the theater world.
I don't doubt it, but he isn't really used much in this at all, as you're pointing out. He's kind of just here for the flashback and gone.
Well, and he's the one who's like, by God, it's growing. This thing is getting out of hand. This is wild. It's and then he gets his throat. Talk about the zombie. He gets his throat bitten out. Is how Henry goes out.
I liked the whole growing thing though, because it immediately made me think of Toho's Frankenstein film.
Yeah.
World,
that's how Frankenstein's creature becomes a kaiju.
Right, and they just start growing and growing and growing, and they reference it again later when they're talking about the different pieces maybe growing and growing and growing.
Yes.
This monster could easily become that. We don't know. This movie just stops.
Yeah.
He could get kaiju
some
size.
fan fiction right now. This creature becomes the Toho Frankenstein monster, and then he faces off against the Gargantuous, both of them, that have to team up to take him down. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And then Goliathon shows up. Damn.
Oh, it's going to be super sweet.
Super sweet.
Work that into the next Tesla show, and I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. We have yet to...
So many giant, hairy...
We have yet to do any kaiju episodes of Tesla.
Well, when they fought Hell, the Norse goddess of death, she did grow to the size of a skyscraper.
Never mind. We did do a giant.
There was a kaiju.
Yeah, we did do. Yeah, never mind. The
Wraith had to battle a giant goddess.
Yeah, very cool.
Some good
very cool.
Anyway,
So, and. Let's see, Monster Knives. Where?
Find where you are.
Oh yeah. Well, so I do like that Victor tries to because he's already bitten him. He's already bitten Henry, but Victor's like, all right, hey, right here, buddy. Look at me. Yeah. Calm down. You got to calm down. Can we talk this out? And this is not a Frankenstein monster that's interested in talking because, from what I see, he can't. So
no.
Not hard for Tim Kruger to learn the dialogue, I think, on this movie.
No, I don't think. Does he make any of the actual noises? It's all ADR, isn't it? It's all ADR
it's gotta,
animal growling.
And in classic, we've seen this in countless Frankenstein movies. Unable to control this thing, Victor Frankenstein just bolts, man.
Yeah,
he's out. He's out of there.
Yeah. He's like, you can keep the place. Landlord's name is Larry. Make sure he gets his check on the 1st.
Bye. And then when we come back out of the flashback, we once again have to surmise about like, well, why did it killed Henry? Why did it let you live? And he's like, it wants to punish me. And I'm going like, okay, that's some inference.
Also, they're using the same themes that every Frankenstein movie does. Except for this creature is, like, as we said, out to kill and reproduce. But at one point, I think Elizabeth says similar thing where she goes, "Why would God punish you like this?" And Victor says, "For playing him." And I was sitting there going like, "Look, that's very badly worded." Okay, as a writer, I'm like going, we know what you're getting at, and you could have said it any number of ways. There are other ways of saying God doesn't want me to play God without saying, why is he doing this? For playing him. I was like, oh, that's an awful sentence. And again, our actor does.
Well, we also get another inference in this scene right here too, where she goes, because he says he wants to punish me, and Elizabeth is like, oh yeah, he wants to punish you for creating him. He's like, no, for abandoning him. I'm just like, I'm sorry, what do you mean? What? How do you have enough information to go, no, Elizabeth, that's wrong, okay?
Well, we don't
know what this thing's thinking.
Victor and the creature that were off camera.
I mean, that's what it feels like. It does feel like that was the case.
Yeah. Okay, no one's around. Yeah. We can talk, just me and you.
Yeah, all right.
I want your wife. Yeah. I want to procreate. All right.
He sent me a letter, Elizabeth. With that? He wrote me a very strongly worded letter.
Letter.
He can't talk, but he writes beautifully.
And it was in English, which I learned from that Austrian girl in the cabin.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much of this where I don't mind the idea of let's skip to the end of Frankenstein, let's condense it, but it's like, but we also still have to do things from the novel. And to do that, we just have to have people say things like this.
They changed enough already at the beginning when they kind of subverted our expectations. They had permission to go off and do their own thing. They didn't have to throw some stuff in there.
Right.
They already had permission to do it. Just
like if you had,
you're kind of holding yourself back a little bit.
You could do some of the same dialogue, but make it more speculative, where it's like, I think he wants to punish me for this. I don't know, though. I can't. Who knows what this monster wants? He
literally could just take the guilt on himself and say, I don't know what it wants.
Yeah.
But I know that I abandoned it. Like a terrible father.
Just make it the Siege movie of it's just about the intensity of, I don't know how we got here, but we're here, and this is what's happening. And
that's what makes it scarier anyway, by not knowing.
Right.
By not knowing, actually.
I know that by trying to give it I don't know.
It's almost like Victor knew all this was going to happen.
I mean,
literally, he did plan this wedding somewhere obscure, but it seems like beyond that, it seems like he expected that the creature would find him and tear everybody apart.
He's contemplated it enough to where when he's confronted with, it wants you to be, what it wants.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And I don't care.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
And I don't
still
care.
wanted to marry you.
It also...
I don't... It just like, dude.
They give... There's this whole thing. He has this whole monologue, too, which gets to why it's called Day of the Beast, too, where it's like, that thing is not alive. That thing has no soul. When I put life into it, I unleash something. There's a dark force. I'm going like, whoa,
maybe it's the devil that animates that thing, not God.
And I'm like, that's a fine thing, but like, you can't. This movie does a lot of just like, how about
can't
this?
Just drop that in there. You
how about
work
this?
with it.
Well, that's my issue with the ending.
That one. You needed permission to get.
There's a few things in this movie like that where I'm like, well, that's an interesting note, but you didn't set that up or earn it or pay it off in any way. You're just like, maybe, because it's just more like, maybe it's the devil?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That would explain some stuff. So
Does that sound good? Devil? Sound good?
Let's get to the next 20 minutes of this movie where they're just crawling around this tunnel. There's a lot of these people.
Skip over it.
Yeah, it's just everybody crawling through the tunnel, and oh no, here comes the monster. Oh no, oh no. I do like when Victor shoots the creature behind them, and they go, "Did you get him? Yeah. Is he dead? Of course not."
Yeah. That's powerful shit.
Have you been listening to anything we've said this whole movie? Obviously not.
And then there's the thing about, okay, so that didn't work. Let's blow it up with this little cask of black powder.
Yeah. Which was just adorable.
Yeah, and we are going to do that. And of course, you're going to have to set it and then get out of there real quick, or you'll get blown up. And of course, what that equals is the thing will be set up, but oops, there's a cave-in. Victor doesn't get out in time. Yeah. And then a very badly animated fuse fire, and then a bad explosion, and the creature's blown apart. Oh, maybe we've won. No, you're going to see those little body parts start crawling towards each other. Like the hands.
I'll just say, though, I'm glad to see Thing from the Addams Family getting more work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, he doesn't work, he's...
This was between projects. He's like going, I'll do an indie.
Yeah.
I'll do an indie. Sure.
Yeah. I just for the love of the craft, right?
I am reminded of, there've been plenty of TV shows and movies that have severed body parts that move independently. But I've just been watching The Ghosts UK. Last couple of seasons, and the guy whose head is permanently off and the body wanders around, and they can't find each other because it's like, nope, over to the left.
I'm just thinking, we just a couple weeks ago, you and I saw Beetlejuice, and it was a very similar thing of the hands and then putting the body parts back together.
Yes, and stapling.
Yeah,
and that is kind of what we're looking at, and that's when Henry gets out, or is he Henry?
No, he's Victor.
No,
he's Victor.
He's Victor. Yes, sorry. Yes, when he gets out of the cave, the little cavern thing, and he goes, even blowing them up isn't going to work.
Because the thing is, the cave-in happened, and then he gets out on the other side, and Elizabeth is trying to dig in. So he and Elizabeth are separated on separate sides of the tunnel.
Approaching from separate sides, and somewhere in between.
Yes.
Man, were you tense? I was getting really tense at this part. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, at this point I am going like, because once again, I am endeared to the movie on some level, but I am going like, I see what you're trying to do, but I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling the...
Sorry, guys, just not feeling it.
It's just the whole middle section in the church with the tunnel, I think just drags. The movie stops to a halt during this stuff.
Yeah.
I think it gets kind of cool again when we're out and he's just killing people in the woods and stuff.
Yeah, when he's
that's
throwing
fine.
Those fucking rocks.
The you and the rocks.
Well, that just cracked me.
Eat rock.
They're like, get away from the creature, and from like 50 yards away.
Look out! He's got a rock.
He's got a rock.
And so the rest of the party has gone outside because Elizabeth is determined to dig Victor out of the cave-in, and they're just like, well, that's your funeral, lady.
I want to throw one thing in that's a subtextual thing that builds. It has an arc, and that is tubby evil guy of the Hunts people.
Yeah.
Who is willing, and we do see it later, he's willing to abandon all these people because they're waiting on the boat that's going to pick them up.
Right.
Which it cracked me up because the boat they're waiting on is the same one that brought the priest over. It is smaller than a canoe.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was the boat that was sent over to start ferrying people off this island? Anyway.
It was going to take most of the day to do it, but they would get them all eventually.
Yeah, but tubby guy keeps saying... this lady over here, she's like, my name is Elizabeth. The whole thing is that they bring this back like 3 or 4 times where they're building Elizabeth, her going like, I refuse to be called a dainty girl who can't handle herself. My name is Elizabeth. And
right.
He's like, Lady Frankenstein. They're not even doing that accent. Lady Frankenstein over here, and she's
They
like,
should be,
"My
though.
name
Once
is
again, we know
Elizabeth."
these guys from Hammer movies. They should have that accent.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Ryan.
So that's going on at this point where it's like, you can't get in there, you can't help him, you're just a dainty, and she's like, no, that's my husband.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, and that's fine, except for once again, it is like, well, but they're not gonna have her survive this, so
Yeah.
Yeah. You've already made enough changes. Maybe I kind of thought maybe they were gonna let her get. Obviously, Victor has to go down for the hubris of playing God. That's just the nature of the story.
Oh, we all knew that.
Yeah, but I did think that by making her this final girl, in a way, that maybe she would make it out of this.
Nope.
No. Instead, they try to start another movie basically at the end.
Yeah.
The ending really upset me. But we'll get there anyway. Yeah, and this is where once again they've blown the tunnel, but he's yelling at the creature, and he's just like, "No, I won't do it again. I won't repeat my experiment." I'm going, "Whoa, okay, where did we get to
he
this?"
made this intuitive leap. He's like, I know what you want. You want another you, but I'm not gonna do it.
See, he's clearly read the book.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Says here in the novel you want a mate.
Dude, why didn't you just say so?
Me too. He drew it. He tried to draw it crudely, and it got bad. But also, I did think when he crawls out of the tunnel, he's got a piece of wood jammed in his leg, and I did think this guy's a doctor. Maybe don't just yank that thing out.
Well, he's not that kind of a doctor.
Really?
He only plays one on TV.
Yeah. The guy building a body doesn't know much about biology.
He pulls that thing out and then screams for, again, I had to turn the volume down.
Yeah.
He screams for about 15
I'm to the
minutes.
point now where I watch enough of these things. If my neighbors were going to complain, they'd have complained by now.
Yeah.
People are always
You have
screaming
thicker
for this.
walls.
It's just John. Don't.
Well, I mean,
it's just John.
somebody's
That's
always
John.
screaming in here, right? I mean, all these movies I'm watching, somebody's always yelling.
I
or
think
something.
they think not so many screams, but they have to hear gunfire every.
Well,
15
yeah,
seconds.
it's a lot of explosions and cars screeching away.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Whatever. Oh,
He pulls the thing out of his leg.
yeah. There's the old man who's the only sympathetic one to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And they pull the hand impalement gag again. That I did think they were creative with most of the kills, but I'm like, well, you guys really like the arm impaling that you double dipped on that one.
Yeah.
They're
like,
going to get their money's worth out of that.
Yeah.
That dummy, that mock-up, whatever they have.
Yeah.
They're
You know
going to get
what?
their money's worth out of that one.
You know what? We have two older gentlemen who have similar body type. We could just rig up the whole thing again.
That guy who I can't remember what his name is in the movie, but is supposed to be like
He's got his little
dude.
glasses, and he's like,
got
oh,
he
oh
looks a little
dear.
Ben Franklin-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
He actually I found was very touching because he's clearly way out of his league as far as acting, and he every now and then tries a little German.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
but then he literally goes into dub bears. He's the most obvious
Yeah.
where he's trying something and it just drops in the middle of the sentence. And I'm like, that's cute.
You know, I did that accent when the community players did Cabaret last year, but and it went over well pretty then. So
you want me to be a what, like a German guy?
The thing that's
I can
different
do
here,
that.
of course, this is where it's just the hand crawling around and it starts strangling her, and this is where, yes, of course, I'm going, it's Evil Dead 2, obviously.
It's Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's very, very much so. Then Victor comes in and pulls the hand off of strangling her, and then like ties it up in a net and just hurls it back in the little tunnel. I thought that was an interesting beat.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, this is where she talks about, like, he wants to kill us, and he's like, no, he wants to breed.
Yeah.
And we see
He
flashbacks
goes, I thought
to,
he was after me. It turns out he's after you, and the reason is he wants to breed.
I've been hiding a lot from you and revealing it at dramatically important moments.
There's a great take of hers where she goes, No, she doesn't.
This is not
the idea intrigues her.
This is
No,
not the
that's-
Karloff Frankenstein who's doing the
Oh no! And this isn't Lady Frankenstein.
No.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Once again, see past episodes of the show for those.
See, that should have been on the poster, though.
in this.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Day of the Beast. He wants to breathe.
He wants to breathe.
Would have been a thing that.
Starring Disney.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Disney presents Frankenstein Breeds.
Wow.
Yeah, they were going to get their event. Frankenstein Breeds was going to be one of the Hammer
that you
movies
have
eventually.
To walk them this far and they didn't pick up on it themselves. That's on them. Okay,
Yeah.
That's on them.
Oh,
yeah, and then we get the flashbacks to him discovering we didn't see the bodies of what happened to the people, but yes, they were. I have questions about how the monster wants to breed, and I don't need to get.
I'm here to help.
But so this idea about like he wants to breed, and by that he's gonna sew people together like him, which is
John. I think he's not very intelligent.
Well, no, I
understand,
but it's like
he knows he needs a woman.
Yeah,
he knows that he is stitched together.
What I'm saying though is
he tries stitching together a woman, it didn't work.
But I'm saying I think Victor Frankenstein is going one step further than the creatures. I think the creature, as we often say, he wants a mate. He's jumping to then it breeds, and then he goes, that would be an apocalyptic scenario. But I'm going like, okay, let's say he makes a mate. You're saying that he could produce offspring then?
Well, that's actually in the book.
Well, yeah, but it does. But the book is also there's much more words given to this stuff.
I can't give him a bride because their offspring would be demonic and horrible.
Yes, it is, but it's they're doing all of that in a very condensed way with once again Victor inferring the creature side of the conversation.
You go ahead and write your slash fiction that you're going to do anyway, and I'll read it.
Nothing will ever stop me from writing that slash fiction. You know
I understood.
That. Yeah. So anyway.
You don't need those women. Take me instead.
While that conversation is inside happening, the monster's ripping apart the guys out there. Yes. He backhands a guy and sends him flying. He does indeed tear out a spine.
Yeah,
which
he does.
Pretty gnarly. He does a more.
That's Mr. Bartu, I think.
Yeah.
And when he does that, what I love is he pulls the spine out and the guy screams.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
Even before the spine leaves the body, you will probably not be able to make sounds anymore.
Did you hear
once it's out of the body?
Right.
I'm pretty sure you can't.
Right before he ripped the spine, I did hear just a faint in the distance. Finish him. It did have it. Yeah, it had a real. Yeah.
But now I want Frankenstein's monster in a Mortal Kombat game. I mean, they put everybody else in it. Why not?
Yeah,
that's true. By this point, everyone has been.
I can't believe that they haven't done like the Universal monsters, or at least some equivalent that are public domain, right? Because I mean, you can use a Frankenstein monster, or a.
Get on that. Yeah, classic monsters fighting game. I want that now.
I actually, that's just
Do
you guys like money? Because that would be huge. Yeah. Hey, Universal, do you like money? Because I'm pretty sure if they did an officially licensed one, that'd be huge.
Oh, dude. The only problem is I would have Dracula win every time.
Well, you know what I would love is if they really committed to it being the classic versions, and so you would have like Edward Van Sloan Van Helsing specifically, just punching Bela Lugosi Dracula. Yeah, it's specific. It's not like Hugh Jackman, actual badass action hero Van Helsing. It's old man 1930s Van Helsing.
Well, they would have skins.
Yeah, that's the thing is you could choose your Van Helsing actually. Yeah,
choose your Van Helsing.
Yeah,
choose your Dracula.
And instead of finish him, it's just Una O'Connor popping up screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
So these guys are getting. The other guy gets his head caved in. He grabs him, crushes his head. There's the guy who they keep showing with the telescope just to set up his death.
Yes.
They keep showing him look with it. I'm like, what is he? I guess he's looking for the boat. Is the idea?
Yeah, he's the guy who's the lookout for the boat.
And it's just so.
But he's got a zooming lens. You notice that, right? That a couple times.
Yeah.
They show the point of view. They cut away. They cut back to him. The point of view is now like 3 times closer. I'm like,
wait, that's historically accurate,
works.
Right?
Yeah. He's zooming in. But of course, that ends up shoved through his eye socket.
Yeah.
Obviously. And then we've got to get to the boat is there tubby leader, as Brendan calls him. I'm not here to body shame him, but Brendan obviously is. So he's going to take off without them, and so that we can get this standoff that turns into a fight with him and Victor.
What's interesting is that this is like any of those movies where they'll end up pairing bad guy to good guy. And obviously, for instance, in a Mission Impossible, I brought this up when we were watching. It's like Tom Cruise versus male bad guy. They never will switch it. You'll have his female love interest who's also badass.
Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson's going to fight whoever the evil woman is. Yeah.
This movie ends up with Victor, Dr. Frankenstein, versus tubby guy whose name no one remembers.
Yeah.
And it's Elizabeth versus the creature. That's not
And also,
fair.
Victor gets his ass handed to him for the most part by this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Victor
it takes
shoots him in the chest, and the guy still is strangling the life out of Victor.
Yeah, it takes him so long to deal with tubby bad guy that he is not able to help Elizabeth, who, at least, she holds her on for a bit, but then basically the creature pins her down and rapes her. Sorry.
Well, she does kick him in the balls, which I enjoyed seeing the Frankenstein monster go, oh!
Yeah. I didn't like the sad trombone they added, though.
Or the studio audience from America's Funniest Home Videos, I think I heard in there, too. Oh. Just real quick. I thought it was weird when Bob Saget was doing a voice for the creature, yeah. I hope this goes well. Oh, no!
I don't care whose balls those used to be. That had to hurt.
But yeah, all of that doesn't matter because, yes, Victor finds her. Yeah, I mean, they don't. It's not graphic or anything, but her splayed out on the log is definitely reading as having been raped, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he wails. He acts very sad.
Yeah.
And then
she's still alive. She's still alive. That he doesn't actually. The creature doesn't kill her. I guess that's the thing that gives her more agency is when she's still alive and she takes Victor's gun, and we flash back to he wants to breed. Oh, this could be an apocalypse, and she shoots herself.
Yes, that's right. She heroically suicides.
So I guess that was there, except for then, of course, dumb Victor Frankenstein undoes that heroic sacrifice. By apparently, according to this movie, immediately starting up another experiment.
Yeah.
He's just got it ready to go.
He's gonna bring her back instantly. And who's not gonna have a problem with that is the creature.
Creature likey.
Very, very good. Creature likey. That's another good pull quote.
Yeah, but this is where I'm going like, oh no, they're doing the Brana ending.
Yep.
But we're gonna do.
She gets up,
which I actually really like that whole sequence in the Brana movie, and especially when I go back and listen to our episode when she kills herself in that movie as the creature is an amazing effect.
I haven't watched that movie in it's got to be at least 20 years, but I've listened to the score repeatedly.
It's a great score.
I feel like it's Patrick Doyle's best music.
Really good. Really good.
Such a great score.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not much of a score guy.
Yeah, we've talked about. I'm the score nerd between the two of us, but that is a great. Yeah, and Doyle does all of the Brana movies.
I can talk film scores for days.
All right, you guys.
But her smashing she does the thing where she picks up the gas lantern and smashes it on herself and then lights herself, and that's cool. But it's also it comes from obviously the whole movie is building to that. Whereas here they just sort of jam it in at the end. And
here it's different. It is her not wanting to exist that way.
It's more like the Bride of Frankenstein moment of
she wakes up and immediately chomps on Victor because she's just as bad as the other creature who's happy that she's there and she's happy to see him, and they run off to be a couple of evil monsters.
But I like that he specifically, the creature also has a sense of dramatic timing, that he waits for Frankenstein to almost be dead so that he can see them run off together, and he's almost just like, that's right, it all worked out for me, buddy.
Yep. Again, direct quote from the film.
Everything's coming up, monster. It's just, and that because we do then
get ready for the night of the beasts.
Plural.
Yeah, click the link to go to the Indiegogo for that. Also, as soon as she wakes up and takes a bite out of his neck, I out loud just went, well, what'd you expect? The exact same thing happened.
Yeah.
I understand that he's supposed to be, like I said, the movie didn't earn the idea that he's gone so insane from grief that he's willing to do this. He spent the whole movie being like, no way, I can't. There's nothing to indicate to me that he's so lost touch with reality that he would think this would work.
When you talked back to the character, did it respond?
It did. He was like, I know, but I gotta try.
Okay. The one thing I would say is this movie wanted to give you a gut punch and leave. Yeah. And that I did appreciate because literally in
concept,
like, oh, nicely done.
I like the idea of there being a bleak ending, and it once again hoisted by his own petard should be a Frankenstein ending. It's just the movie wasn't it wasn't constructed well enough to get there. I like the idea of this ending, and it's actually something we talked about with the Sting movie, The Bride. I like the idea of a love triangle between Frankenstein, the bride, and the monster. Yeah. But this movie just wants to do it in like 30 seconds. Boom, and we're there. And so once again, like a lot of the movie, great ideas, but it doesn't have any real impact.
No, this isn't a very well made movie. No. I think at the end of the day, any good ideas it had weren't served well by writing, directing, acting, editing.
I think there's some people who they had a thought, and I still think somebody could do some variation on that. Like I said, this is a valid take.
There were some good ideas.
It just isn't executed very well.
Yes, it almost as if they were trying just too hard. There is an over sincerity that kind of bleeds all over this thing. That
definitely.
It would have maybe even have been better served to produce this on the stage as opposed to doing this this manner.
It's confined enough. You probably could do a variation on it. I mean, you couldn't have all the exact gore. You'd have to tone down some of that stuff. But
no, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, yeah. I mean, and Frankenstein has a rich theatrical tradition.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked about that. Both the Universal Frankenstein and Dracula were almost just adapted from the stage productions.
They were adapted from the plays first, and then the novel second. Yeah. So, and I would love to be involved in a Frankenstein production of some sort. That'd be amazing to see or do or hear as an audio drama someday.
Yeah.
Foreshadow. But, I would love to see that. And I love the Frankenstein monster character so much. I would love to see some of this sincerity put on stage because it just feels almost forced.
Well, and I think the idea when you talk about I also think there's too many ideas going on for maybe a stage production could also go longer, because I think for this idea they had a smart idea to do, like, we're going to do a tight, very focused, intense movie, but then we also still want to have the broad, epic, operatic impact of the major themes of Frankenstein, and that's very tough to do. So instead, a lot of stuff is like, that's a good idea, but you just kind of jammed it in there.
The slasherification of the Frankenstein story, which is kind of what they did here, I don't know if that would play so well on stage, but I think a better filmmaker could take this and run. It definitely needs to be tightened up and possibly lightened up a little bit, just because what you're saying, Derek, is that it is trying to be somewhat Hammer-esque, but even Hammer had a sense of campy fun about it, and this really is dreadfully serious. Like, they're taking it so incredibly serious, and you're like going, but you are trying to just turn the monster into Freddy Krueger at this moment, or not even Freddy Krueger, because Freddy Krueger talks and has quips.
More Jason,
very much Jason, but that's not a bad concept. It's just it needs someone else to take it. You talk
about the Hammer films. The best Hammer films were directed by Terence Fisher. And Terence Fisher approached his Hammer films as fairy tales for adults. They have that sense of whimsy to them, even when he's doing something dark, like in the Evil Frankenstein or something. Did he do that one? I don't remember. I don't
know if he did, but we love the
Frankenstein films or the Dracula films or anything that he touched with Hammer was, fairy tales for adults, and they always had that sense of whimsy to them. This doesn't have that at all, with the exception of a few of the my name's Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
told
that's
you,
really just the way
you
she's
know,
delivering it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and but it happens so often, and I
Yeah.
feel like it happened way too many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of things in this that just
It's
lightens up a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
and I don't know much about the filmmaker. I know that he's Ricardo Islas is his name. He's
Yep.
from Uruguay.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a number of genre flicks.
He's
some
clearly
stuff.
Chicago-based.
Yeah, and so I don't know much about his background, where he
I mean,
comes from, or what his influences are, but
just sort of scanning these, they look like they're in a similar vein. It does seem like there's a high emphasis on gore. You know, and that's fine. And especially like you talk about, more befitting of like the zombie genre, which is where people really want to see people getting ripped apart. And, you know, gore effects are obviously so key to the success of a lot of that stuff. And, you know, yeah. And this is the only time he ever really dabbled in, and one of the reasons I haven't seen any of his movies, he did make a vampire movie we didn't watch, Brendan, I guess we could have, called Night Fangs.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I feel all right.
But I'm saying, like other than that and this, he's primarily stuck to either slasher or zombie stuff. He really hasn't done a lot of sort of classic monster stuff. And maybe those are genres I think that do better with low to no budget than your Frankenstein or Dracula
Well,
movies.
anytime you do a period piece, if you're an independent filmmaker,
That
and
hurts.
You're doing a
That's
period
really
piece
tough.
Of any kind, that's asking for trouble. That's so
it
expensive.
really is.
Yeah.
Look up Alpha Studios Films. That's the
Yeah.
YouTube name. It's all one word, Alpha Studios Films on YouTube, and you'll find his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Where
That's
you
where I
can
watched
check
this,
out
yeah.
Frankenstein Day of the Beast, as well as a few of the other things that he's put online, like Night Things.
Well, there's a lot of things like this. There's production companies here in Portland like this too, who just kind of churn out cheap, you know, genre stuff. And obviously there's some kind of market for it because he keeps making these.
Yeah.
Well, today you've got YouTube as a distribution model.
Yeah.
You've got Vimeo as a distribution, online streaming as a distribution model. People aren't making a lot of money on them, and the other side of that then is that people aren't spending a lot of money to make them.
Right.
Yeah.
So you end up with a lot of low budget. You can put a slasher together, that sort of thing. If I can kind of peel back my own personal curtain a little bit, that kind of podcast.
Yeah.
It's getting hot.
One of the things that I did when I moved from the Portland area to Phoenix, is I emptied out my storage unit. I had a storage unit that had for over a decade of stuff in there that I hadn't touched in forever, including 4 big boxes of old VHS tapes that I'd been looking around since the 90s. And these old VHS tapes are all these little movie projects that I shot with my friends growing up in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yep. That's awesome.
I'm looking at this stuff now because I'm trying to digitize some of it because I want to have it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had my little brother in it, who's no longer with us. So, to have footage of my brother, it's pretty dope, right? That's pretty cool to have. But I'm looking at that stuff, and it's all low budget.
Of course.
We didn't know what we were doing. We were kids, obviously, but we thought we were the coolest kids when we made this slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we were awesome when we were like, oh, let's do something with a zombie, And we would just throw gore on the screen, or what passed for gore, because we didn't know what we were doing either. Not a lot of special effects resources in 1990s Cheyenne, Wyoming, go figure.
Right.
But we would throw blood on the screen or whatever and think we were the coolest thing ever. And that's what a lot of this stuff feels like now, except shot with better cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very similar to my background as well. Like, to just jump forward about 10 years, and it's the early to mid 2000s. I have a bunch of, and less horror for me that I was making than I was making like crime, pulp, Tarantino kind of ripoff. But similar thing, just hurling fake blood around, exactly. And so, yeah, and I do look back at that same thing. It's just like, oh, these kids are figuring it out, man. They're learning. They're learning.
That kind of stuff, I don't, again, fault anyone for doing it. And they're always feel good reflections of like, oh, look at what we did when we were younger. I think the people that I both respect and also feel for are the people who are still doing it into their 50s and 60s, who just keep plugging away, and they're never going to get better. They'll never get the full distribution. They have a passion.
This
for
one's
it.
searching though,
And that's
Brendan.
the
They're still out
too.
there looking for. Maybe they might get that distribution.
Sure, absolutely.
So,
There's that.
Yeah.
God,
1-2 punch. John and Brendan just made me feel really old. You go forward 10 years, and I was doing it. People under 50, dude. I'm 50.
Yeah.
I'm 55, buddy.
Brendan's older.
But I never made movies. Actually, I never had like camera equipment when I was a kid. But I was drawing comics. That's what I was doing.
I mean, I was lucky that I had in my school they had a film. Not much, but you could take a video class. And so you could get equipment and stuff, and we would just run around and do shit.
All mine was a video production course at a community college that you could take 3 times for credit. I took 6 times because I had access to a hand-me-down.
Yeah, it was a similar thing in my high school. You could take it, and it was every time I needed an elective, every single term it was the video production class.
And I was a ballsy kid, and I thought I was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like, man.
No, that's the thing is it's for you. I think the only time it becomes sad is when you are honestly believing that stuff is going to sweep a film festival.
Yeah.
And you're going to be, the next Tarantino. And that's where life has to kind of gently nudge you and go, no, keep making these for you and your friends, but you're not.
Well, I do think that's an interesting thing because, like I said, I used to do this podcast called The Action Shelf where we watched low to no budget action movies. And I do wonder about guys like this filmmaker or a lot of people ran into there where it's like, yeah, obviously when you keep making these and they're all of the same quality, some part of you must know, well, I see other movies and I see the stuff I'm making. This is obviously, and so I do wonder, and I'm not with any judgment, but I just wonder what the mindset going into one of these are, what kind of aspirations a guy like this has. I would be curious to talk to him about. Does he know?
All I can say is the world needs Ed Woods as much as they need, Tarantino's and Scorsese's.
But like,
the world needs Neil Breen.
Yeah, Neil Breen feels like there's definitely an ego on that guy that is different than somebody like this.
But he's just not going to stop.
If he's making money, if he's making enough money to pay his bills doing this stuff,
absolutely.
Good for him. Good for him. And hopefully, Ricardo, Islas.
I hope so too.
Pay his bills and pay his casting crew.
The fact that he just made a movie in 2022 means.
And like I said, has one coming up probably next year. Sometime he's got another one in the can, as we would say, even though it's shot digitally. Yeah. Although that one is estimated budget, his newest one, $40,000, so way less than this.
Well, here's what I will say. Well, he'll probably do an Indiegogo campaign on that one too, I would assume.
To finish up post, I would guess so.
Let me wrap it up or get to that point where we normally at the end of the podcast
do you recommend this movie?
Go around and say, would you recommend? John, would you recommend this film?
I can't. There's good moments in it, but there's way too much downtime. There's way too much that slogs. And I feel like it just doesn't land. I respect the initiative, and like I said, I think there's some creative ideas, but ultimately I just don't think it's a particularly enjoyable watch.
Derek, do you recommend?
I recommend the beginning.
I think this is definitely
made a great short film. I also think
that
they maybe trimmed a good 20-25 minutes out of it.
Yeah,
it would have been a better film.
This thing
as it stands
sub-hour,
now, the completist in me wants to say yes.
Yeah.
The Frankenstein fan in me. I don't know. I mean,
we sometimes do say that. It's like if you are a completist, if you're just dying to see another take on the Frankenstein, there are interesting ideas here.
There are, and I'm in a weird spot here because on Monster Kid Radio, and I'm going to continue this with Bride of Monster Kid Radio. Every movie, with the exception of maybe one or two in our past podcast history, I've always tried to find something to highlight and spotlight, and with the exception of the movie, I just said air quotes on a podcast, Fun in Balloon Land. Without exception of Fun in Balloon Land, I don't hate any movie. I love Manos Hands of Fate. I love that stuff.
I love Manos Hands of Fate.
Well, that's the kind of thing where it gets, it loops back around to there is such charm to it.
And it's the DIY thing again.
Right,
and
exactly.
I respond to the DIY thing. Something that we didn't talk about is you mentioned the Hammer stuff. I also picked up some shades of Paul Naschy influences in this film.
Yeah.
A little bit of Paul Naschy stuff. I know he mostly did werewolf stuff, but just some of that over-the-top earnestness.
Yeah.
There are better Frankenstein movies to watch, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say I don't recommend, if you are of the same completist mindset and again, I'm with you, Derek, but for me, it's Dracula. I will watch anything with Dracula. Doesn't mean I'll like everything with Dracula, but if Dracula's in it, I watch it. And then I have an opinion about it, but at the same time, I won't turn one away just because they shot it for $38. I'll still want to see what they did with it. And then sometimes I find gems, diamonds in the rough. But Frankenstein's monster, I love him too, but at the same time, not enough to recommend going and seeing every Frankenstein's monster film. And this one, for its cool ideas and admirable pluck, the fact that they must have frozen their asses off. No, I can't really say I recommend. And yeah, I would rather watch Frankenstein Island, and that is a huge...
That's where I would separate. No, I think Frankenstein Island is actually... there are sillier moments in it, but I think overall it's either just as, if not a little more boring.
Oh my God. It opens with two hot air balloons talking to each other.
I know, but for like 20 minutes. That's the problem.
For me the benchmark for me is whether or not the movie bores me.
Yeah.
And Frankenstein Island, as crazy as it is, as bad as parts of it are,
it is.
It never bores me.
Oh,
there
no.
are sections in this film in Day of the Beast
they're boring. Yeah.
Because again, there is a surreality to almost everything that's happening in Frankenstein Island that I can just sit there and shake my head for the whole movie, going, "What? Who thought of? Why is this? Why is that lady dancing with a snake?" It's all kinds of stuff. I'm just I don't quite understand, and that is for me not boring. Whereas earnest, stodgy dialogue and people crawling around, endlessly in a little tunnel, I'm just like, I'm good, guys, I'm good.
Yeah.
So on that note,
and there are worse Frankenstein movies out there.
Oh, definitely, and we've seen them. I think on this show,
we possibly have. It's hard for me to because
we were bored. But let's say we've certainly seen more boring ones because some of those some of those like TV 2-part movies where they're trying to really be very faithful to the literary stuff, I think are less fun to watch.
Frankenstein,
than this.
The true story.
Some of the we did a couple of the 70s TV movies. The Dan Curtis one's pretty boring.
Yeah.
Dude, Dan Curtis, come on, one of the patron saints. Come on.
We love Dan Curtis. Curtis.
Dan Curtis gave me Dark Shadows. He gave me Night Stalker.
Jack Palance's Dracula is awesome.
There are parts of it. I think film is awesome. I think his
performance is a little stodgy for me.
Well, because he's Jack. He's a weird choice for that part. Well, next week, Brendan, we're gonna get we're gonna go way up in budget because we're back to one of our franchises we've been covering. It's time to head back to the Underworld, sir.
Oh no,
that's right. It's Underworld Awakening. It's the fourth.
This one I'm totally not familiar with because I was vaguely familiar with Rise of the Lycan.
This is the soft reboot of the franchise where we're going to jump forward in time. We're going to fire the entire supporting cast, and basically start a new continuity of. It's not going to undo the previous continuity, but it's going to do that thing where, oh no, I've woken up 100 years later and everything's different. It's kind of thing. Skip. Yeah, it's a time jump. It's actually not that far of a time jump, but still, it's like a whole new ball game. So
2.5 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and we will, of course, have our Underworld correspondent, Mike Ergoni, who comes on for all of the Underworld movies, will be joining us to once again dissect, because he actually has some level investment in the mythos of that and the world building that I don't. So
It's because he's read every one of the White Wolf game guides.
Well, he is also one of those guys. I think it's so interesting that he's that invested, but he's also like, and they also entirely stole it from that RPG.
Yeah, they totally ripped it off,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah, but still, here's the thing about Lycans. And we love Mike,
Well,
of
that's
course.
next week. But
Yeah.
first, can we both just give an applause and thanks to our good friend Derek? For
Finally
showing
got
up
Derek
first
on the
time.
show. Yeah.
You say finally because I kept rescheduling, and
Well,
I
it
want
was-
to thank y'all for being very patient with
It was
me.
unfortunate that in the timing of this movie that you chose months ago, you had a major, move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was not.
Yeah, big life
It was
shift.
not ideal. But of course, Derek, I'm sure will be back. If not by the time we wrap up the monsters, for sure when we get to the slashers, we'll have Derek.
I'm
Because-
all in for Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Dead on. Yeah. I'm in.
So let people know, this is the plug section.
Yeah,
Even though we
talked about it at the beginning, but of course,
but give URLs. Where can people listen to Monster Kid Radio?
So Monster Kid Radio is available wherever you can pick up the finest and, well, not so finest podcasts. But go to monsterkidradio.net. That's the main website. Even when we rebrand or relaunch as Bride of Monster Kid Radio, we're going to keep the URL.
Nice.
So monsterkidradio.net. We're also on YouTube. All the podcast episodes are available on YouTube as well. We also have a Facebook page and Facebook group. We're also on X under Monster Kid Radio. We do have a subreddit that doesn't get a lot of activity, but we're there. We also have a Discord and a Patreon. Monster Kid Radio is a production of Team Death, which is the production company overall thing that my wife Beth and I do. Team Death. Death is spelled D-E-T-H, so D-E for Derek, T-H from Beth. And that's at teamdeath.com.
When I figured that out, I was so proud of myself. Because it wasn't explained to me when I first met you guys, and then I was like, wait a minute. Derek, Beth, Death. Oh my God!
And Beth was the genius that came up with that, like very early on in our dating relationship.
Beth's a smarty.
I know what our amazing race team name would be. It'd be Team Death. I'm like, that's awesome. You're the one.
I'd watch you guys.
We'll have to have Beth on the show at some point too.
We definitely should.
I would love to have Beth on the show.
Tell her I said hi.
Yeah,
I will.
I
will.
pass on our
she
best
showed up
wishes.
because I saw you making all the gestures and the things.
Yeah. Team Death is also available on YouTube, and we're going to be relaunching our YouTube stuff there. Monster Kid Radio is also on Twitch, and depending on when this goes out, you may be able to tune into our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/monsterkidradio and watch our Halloween movie loop. We're going to be. My plan is to get like a good 20-hour loop of movies to just play over and over and over again as we get closer to Halloween or into Halloween or after Halloween.
Could you do me one favor?
What's up?
Could you, like, somewhere in the middle, where people that got bored at the very beginning won't know, and the people that sort of showed up late won't know, but right in the middle, Sound of Music. Just put it in. Or if not the full movie,
that's a good chunk of the. I was gonna say that's a lot of the middle.
just a little chunk. We'll do the I am 16 going on 17. Just put that right
Just
in the
see if
middle
anybody-
and just freak people the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. There's a copyright thing, so we'll figure that out.
Fucking
we'll figure
copyright.
Also, I will say this. I'm gonna shout you out for this. You were probably getting to it, but I jumped in my head. Team Death, Derek. Also, they make amazing shirts.
Yes,
thank you.
They make amazing monster movie and pop culture themed shirts that you can order. Your Day of the Dead one. Is it Day of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, right? Dawn of the Dead.
The Dawn of the Dead one. I'm this close, man. The way that you just took the logo off, and people are gonna have to look at it for a few minutes to figure out what it is because it looks almost just like a sunset design. And I'm like, no, man, you have to look at it. Don't you get it? Oh, it's a sweet shirt.
It is.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's all on our website as well. I'm also an author. You can find me on Amazon. And hopefully, starting next month, once haunt season is over and I have some downtime, I'll be relaunching my pro wrestling YouTube channel, the Suplex Stream.
Oh my God!
We should.
I didn't even know you did
we
that.
should. I'll pass that on to a frequent guest, Elliot Lewis, who comes on and is a massive wrestling nerd. So
I am a huge wrestling fan, especially indie wrestling. The Suplex Stream really tries to focus on indie wrestling.
I think that's also Elliot's jam as well, not so much the big tier.
What I will say is, the plug segment alone is staggering. But one thing I will say please tell me you've abandoned your DIY submarine tours of the Titanic. Please tell me that you stopped doing that.
You know, we had an issue. The last submarine that went down kind of imploded, and we lost a couple of our angel investors.
Oh, promise me you got your PlayStation controller back.
that got dark.
I'm sorry, that's dark.
Well, what a note to end on, because that's going to wrap things up for Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters this week. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
Oh, God, I'm going to burn in hell. Oh, this was awesome. Thank you, Derek.